Every one of us in this room has been exposed to photography in one way or another. It's everywhere. Many of us even carry cameras in our pockets every day. And according to National Geographic, millions of pictures are uploaded every minute, and we're probably contributing to that via Snapchat and Instagram and other social media platforms. I kind of like to think of photography like running. All of us can take photos and all of us can run, but I think it kind of takes some talent to really become good at it. And I'm not saying that I'm a great photographer or anything, but I've been taking photos since 3rd grade when I got my first film camera that my dad got me, and then I got a video camera, and then I got a digital camera, and now I have my DSLR. This is a photo that I took of my friend for her senior portraits, and then I captured the Ferguson riots in New York City when I was visiting. But how did the thing that we know become? According to an article on History.com by Evan Andrews, camera obscura came around into the 5th century BC, and it's literally translated as dark chamber. And it was a popular tool during the Middle Ages and the Renaissance, but it only viewed reflected images in real time and not permanent images, until photochemistry in the 18th and 19th centuries. And in 1725, German Professor Scholz found that silver salt darkened when exposed to light. And then in 1827, French inventor Niepce used camera obscura and a pewter plate coated with light-sensitive material, and he created the world's first photograph, which is seen on the slide. The downside was that exposures would take hours upon hours until calotype and the wet collodion process. And you could make endless copies from one negative, and then in the wet collodion process, you can make a crisp image quality with negatives that could be also easily copied. But portable darkrooms were a huge hassle at the time. And in 1871, dry plates were invented, which also allowed for even quicker exposures, and you could capture moving objects. And then in the mid-1880s, the flexible roll film was invented, and the first Kodak camera was also invented, but you had to send the film back to the manufacturer to be developed. And then in 1907, color photography finally came about by the Lumiere brothers, who were the pioneers of cinema at the time. But the interesting thing was that it was invented using dyed potato starch. And there was a lot of history that happened between 1907 and 1975, but I don't want to really bore you with the details. So the first digital camera was invented in 1975 by a man named Sasson for Kodak, and he took pictures of his wife and sister for 40 years, which can be seen in this exhibit at the Museum of Modern Art in New York City, which I actually got to see a few years ago. It was really cool. And then in 1987, Canon came out with its EOS series, which my camera is actually a part of, so it's been around for a really long time. And you could autofocus with the camera, which is really awesome. And today, we know the GoPro and iPhones and now even virtual reality, which is absolutely amazing how much photography and cameras have changed over the past few hundred years. And it's scary to think that technology is moving so fast, but a quote from Zoromsky's book about snapshot photography, I think that really embodies that idea, is transition breeds anxiety about the past, what we are losing, what is dying, and as well as the future. But photography holds such an importance in today's world, and the advancement of its technology is only allowing for the spreading of knowledge to be easier, which is why today photojournalism is so important. And I took a few photos from Time's 100 most influential photos, and you can see on the left, that's a gorilla in the Congo that was killed in a violent conflict. He's kind of like the original Harambe. And then on the right, you can see a glimpse into North Korea, a place that many of us will probably never set foot in, but through photography, we can see what's going on there. And then in outer space, a place that a couple hundred years ago we could only imagine what was there, but now we can actually visualize in our minds what outer space actually looks like. And then in 2014, the infamous Oscar selfie kind of made us it kind of just shows that social media and how powerful it is today. And all this, like, saw this and were like, oh, that's so cool, because it's celebrities doing normal things. And a fun fact is that this photo is now worth $1 million and was actually secretly a Samsung promotion, which kind of shows that today sometimes photos may not actually be what we think they are. And that's why we should really praise authentic photojournalism, because attempts to stage photographs to create fictions only rarely work as powerfully as the kind of quotations from reality that we get in documenting photographs, which is a quote from Jeff Dyer from the New York Times. And today, Photoshop can easily alter photos and we can easily pose photos, so being able to live in a world where we can view real photos is a privilege, and in this case, ignorance is not bliss. So don't get lost in that digital cloud and think about the impact one photo can have on the world.